Hello, my name is Fox and you're watching Den of Fools. Let's jump right in.
In week 13 of 2025, we had 184 tournaments, with a total of 3,687 players and 12,858 games played. In the second week of the new balance changes, we have a lot of tournaments and games, including Adepticon, which had 291 players. With so much data, we should get a very good impression of who are the initial frontrunners. With that said, the Space Marines are top of the charts with 25 wins, 94 top 3s, and a weighted base of 20.9, which is a lot better than the 33.5 they got last time. They have performed much better, and have shown they are still very competitive in the hands of a talented player by winning the Adepticon tournament. As always, stay tuned till later on in the video, where we will cover the individual chapters. The Orcs are in second again this week with 19 wins, 42 top 3s, and a weighted base of 10.6. If we discount the unknown factions, this is the third best weighted placing this week. The Orcs are looking strong, with another good showing on the placings. They didn't get the best weighted placing this week, but it's still an impressive result considering the number of players they had. The Custodians are in third place, with 18 wins, 39 top 3s, and a weighted base of 12.6, which is a slight improvement for them. The Necrons are close behind on 17 wins, with 37 top 3s, and a weighted base of 9.5, which is the second best overall. This is a great result for the Necrons, although slightly unexpected, as they got over double the wins they got last time. The Eldari get 14 wins, 44 top 3s, and a weighted base of 15.5, which is a slightly better result for them. Chaos Demons and Guard both get 11 wins and weighted base of 17.1, with Demons getting a lot more top 3s with 45 compared to 29. The World Eaters get 10 wins with 25 top 3s and a weighted base of 12.1. The Admech are the last known faction in blue with 9 wins and a very impressive weighted placing of 5, which is the best overall. The first 3 factions in green all get 6 wins, being ranked by the number of top 3 placings. Knights get 25 and a weighted base of 24.5, with Tyranids getting 22 and a weighted base of 29.5. Finally, Chaos Knights get 12 with a weighted base of 16.7. Chaos Space Marines are next with 5 wins, 23 top 3s and a weighted base of 30.6. The Death Guard and Votan both have 4 wins with 12 top 3s, with weighted placings of 37.8 and 20.5 respectively. This week there are 6 factions in yellow with between 1 and 3 wins. The Imperial Agents are in red after failing to pick up a win, which isn't too surprising as they have a tiny player base as a full faction. We do have quite a lot of wins spread around, but that is to be expected when there are 184 tournaments. We are starting to see the top factions so far, with the Orcs, Custodians and Eldari doing well. 22 factions manage this one top 10 placing, with the Space Marines getting the most top 10s with 327. The Eldari are in second with 144 top 10 placings. Custodians are in third on 123 top 10 placings. Even with the large number of tournaments, the top 3 get a huge number of top 10s between them. The Space Marines are the most played faction with 19.01% of all players taking them. This is much closer to what they usually do. Eldari are the second most popular on 7.16%. Custodians are in third on 6.81%. The Orcs are quite a fair bit down, which is surprising considering how well they are doing.
It takes our resident stats guru and Ultramarine fanboy Fearless Fox many hours to collect all the data. It would be great if you could show your appreciation by liking and sharing the video. It really helps us with the God algorithm of YouTube. We have grouped the win rates by colour with the key at the bottom of the screen.
In the second week of the new meta, the Orcs top the charts again with a win rate of 54.9%. They have dropped back significantly, just getting within the Goldilocks zone, although they are still very strong from the first 2 weeks. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to keep dropping back, as players are getting used to the more darker lists. Imperial Knights and Gene Stealers come next, both getting a win rate of 52.3. Both factions have a much better performance in the smaller tournaments, especially the Knights, who got 58.1%. Necrons get a win rate of 51.9, which is a decent improvement for them, and not too surprising considering they did well on the placings. Chaos Demons are seemingly still one of the top factions, with a win rate of 51.3%. The Legions of Votan are close behind, with a win rate of 51.2. Custodians have moved into green, with a win rate of 50.6. Admech get a win rate of 50.3, which is heavily carried by their performance at the smaller tournaments. The Eldari are the last faction in green, with a win rate of 50.2. The Tyranids top the yellow group with a win rate of 48.4%, followed by Chaos Knights, who have 47.6. Space Marines overall and World Eaters both have a win rate of 46.4%, with Drukhari on 46.2 and the Grey Knights on 45.6. The 10 Imperial Agents players just get in the Goldilocks zone with a win rate of 45.2%. Chaos Space Marines are just outside the zone on a win rate of 44.3 alongside the Death Guard. Guard get a win rate of 43.7 with Sisters a good way back on 41.7. The Tau are the last faction in yellow with a 41.3% win rate. The Thousand Sons are the only chapter in red with a win rate of 36.4%. We see the same factions at the top, although they have dropped back by a small amount. We also have the same factions below the zone, who are continuing to struggle despite the changes. At least the Thousand Sons have a codex in the not too distant future, which may change their fortunes. We do only have 2 weeks of data, but the Orcs have taken an early lead with a win rate of 56.3%, putting them as the only faction above the zone. Imperial Knights are in second with a win rate of 53.1, helped greatly by their performance at the smaller tournaments. Chaos Demons are in third on 52.1%, followed by the Gene Stealer Cults on 51.1. The Necrons get a win rate of 50.9, with the Eldari very close behind on 50.8. We do have quite a few factions struggling early on, with 7 below the Goldilocks zone. From the first impressions, it looks like this balance update was a bit of a miss, with most of the factions which were either doing well or poorly in a similar position, with more Dakar and the Orcs added into the mix. The Death Watch topped the charts with a very impressive win rate of 59.8%. They did not have a huge number of players, but I did not expect them to get the best win rate of all factions this week. The Space Wolves are quite far back, top in the yellow group, with a win rate of 49.5%. The Unknown Codex chapters come next on 46.5. This does include the Ultramarines, who did win the Adepticon Championship, with a list featuring both Calgar and Gulliman. Even after attempting to nerf them, it looks like the Ultramarines are still strong. The Blood Angels are the last chapter in the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 46.4%. The Dark Angels are the first chapter below the zone, on 42.9, with the Black Templars struggling in red, with a win rate of 37.9%. The Unknown chapters get by far the most top 10s, but get 1 less win than the Blood Angels, who have 8. The Space Wolves get 5, while the Death Watch get 3, and the Dark Angels get 2. Overall, the Space Marines have made some significant improvements on last week, and are a bit closer to what I would have expected. There are some chapters which sorely need some assistance, with the Dark Angels and Black Templars struggling. With the first 2 weeks of data for the chapters, the Death Watch take an early lead with 51.6%. The Space Wolves are on 46.2, with the Codex chapters on 46%. The Blood Angels are on 43.8, with the Dark Angels on 42.6, and the Templars on 39. If the second week is anything to go by, we should see these win rates steadily improve.
If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe, check out one of the videos on screen, and consider using our affiliate links in the description. Thank you for watching.